Hello, good evening. I have a reading tonight that I wanted to do. And I also wanted to say that I've been getting some intuitions and some messages. And one word that I keep hearing is federale, federale. And I think what this means is that there are federal agents going into mostly, I would say, Mexican and or Hispanic neighborhoods, and that they're really coming down pretty hard on people. And I know we've been seeing that in the news, but it was something that I'm hearing and something that is really stressing people out. So I am hearing that. I'm also hearing come on, let's go, pup. And I'm hearing that it's time to saddle up the horses, get the horses. So I believe that they are going to begin searches with horses and dogs. I believe they will be utilizing EquiSearch or some kind of search group like that finally. I don't want to give too much of my opinion, but I'll just say that it's probably in good timing that they're doing that. I'm also hearing that somebody went to a different country and that they are being observed in that country. The agents found them right away. There was no problem in locating the individual, and that they have eyes on that person. And that person is a male subject. The male subject believes that he will be better off in his own country, or that people will have mercy and pity on him, but that is not true. Not true at all. So wherever this individual went, this person of interest, the agents in his own country have their eyes on him and know where he is, what he's doing. They found him right away. I also do believe they have found items of interest in some of the homes they've gone into. Yeah, possibly money connections, possibly cartel connections. But I don't believe anything directly related to this case. We have the devil and the Two of Pentacles. So still not evidence that might be directly connected to this case. I did have to color some of these cards that have little artwork depictions without proper clothing attire, so I had to put clothing attire on them, which was really weird. It was very surreal for me. I've been reading tarot cards for over 30 years, and I've never had to put little bathing suits on my tarot people before. That kind of freaked me out a little bit, but I had to do it for the purpose of reading online. Okay, and let's see here. I'm just going to do a fairly quick reading tonight. I do have something that came to me pretty vividly that I'd like to share in a few moments here. I'm going to do a reading, though. Okay. Cards are... I really like these cards, but they are very, very slippery. Okay. Okay. They They're cutting the wheat from the chaff as they speak in this investigation. Okay, if there are any family members who they want to question or they have questions about, those family members are being extremely guarded. They're holding their own, and I heard moving in silence. So people are moving in silence in this case. I'm going to be just kind of shuffling a little bit off camera because it's just, I can't always be leaning over this table. But I will be pulling cards that are, I'm not intentionally picking cards, I'm just letting them pull out. Okay, and they are closing in on those subjects who have been reporting or asking for money through the ARSM letters and all of that. They are closing in on that. That's going to be ending pretty quickly. Law enforcement is very angry about that. I mentioned that that was one of the reasons why Kash Patel was there. They're very angry about those additional crimes, and they are closing the net in on those people. So those ARSM letters are going to stop pretty soon. I see this as the individual that left and trying to go back to their home country, their home place. Strength. Okay, this is good news because it is just a matter of time. Those items that have seemed like a mystery in the past or difficult to decipher in the past, they are gaining solid ground on that. Evidence is now being processed that will be very important. It just continues to take a little bit more time. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. One of the people of interest in this case has gotten a lawyer, has been very, very unwilling to mess around with the police. And I also believe the family of Nancy Guthrie is now setting some pretty strict boundaries and guidelines with people. They are no longer willing to fool around. They want to see results. As I mentioned, they're going to continue to pick away at a romance or a relationship that one of possibly the female subjects in this case, and the female subject may be starting to feel the heat of financial loss. Okay, and I believe that they are looking at, okay, stay, oh my gosh. Sorry, these cards are made out of vinyl, so they're really slippery, which I like. They're unique cards, but it's a challenge sometimes. Okay, I'm going to read this card as again, I'm my own tarot reader. I have my own opinions. I see this from my own lens, and so I realize that what I'm saying might not match with what's out there. However, I feel responsible to tell you what I see. And what I'm seeing is that you have many law enforcement agencies and resources that are coming into this case, and they are working well together. I disagree. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's some stress and strain between different groups. I'm sure this is a very high pressure, high profile case. However, I see a lot of funding and cooperation. I actually see in this particular case, to some extent, the more the merrier. They are working together better and better each day. Okay, so I see that we are going to be getting some small movement in this case, some small movement going forward, and we're going to see some things really coming together. I mentioned that I do believe we'll be getting some audio. I do believe we'll be getting some visual from afar. I do believe we're going to be seeing more evidence of person of interest or a vehicle of interest. I'm actually seeing it as a truck. I am pretty sure that it is a truck. I'm not really seeing a van. I'm not really seeing a car. I'm seeing a truck. Right. There could be some younger people involved in this case. Magician. Seven of Cups. Oh, okay, that's something that I didn't really want to talk about. I believe that one of the main suspects in this case will not make it to court. This suspect may end up passing away before they have their day in court. So that is concerning. I don't know how much more I want to get into that. That was something that I saw psychically today, and I just am not 100% sure, but it is something that I saw, that we may end up having one of the suspects decide to take an ending for themselves, before they reach the court. I know that there was some rumors that a person of interest was stopped, and that it ended up being that person was ended, or that they ended themselves. I don't think it's that particular person. I think that it might actually be a different one. Okay, I want to just do a couple more of these. And then I do have something that I wanted to share with you. Defending on the bottom. Belongings. Pew pew. Pushed. Okay, I think they are going to make some progress on the object, the pew-pew that could have been used. They may be looking for that. They may also be discovering that there, in fact, are some belongings missing from the house, which I mentioned before. All right, and here's, I know that it says car, but there could be, a vehicle of some kind that ends up on camera. I do believe, I'm seeing like a truck. It could be, what do they call those? Like a Escalade style vehicle, but it's something along those lines. I keep saying I feel like one of those guys was injured at the scene. I swear to you, I could be wrong, but I swear I think somebody, the guy that did this, I think he was injured in the process of this. I really do. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that we're even going to find that evidence, but a trail. Wow, that's interesting, that sequence there, a trail, injury, blood loss, because that certainly would depict what went on at the front door. Okay, let's just pull a few more. And I'm not picking these out. These are cards that are just falling out. Oh my God, I can't believe this. You can't make this stuff up. I swear, you guys, if any of you are tarot readers out there, you just, sometimes this stuff just blows you away. And I wanted to talk about something that I was getting today psychically. And again, it came in the form of a song. And I was born in the mid-70s, and so of course I grew up listening to 80s music and 90s music. I would say in some ways I was a child of both the 80s and 90s music scenes, but I enjoy that music somewhat, but I have to tell you that today I kept hearing a Duran Duran song, and the Duran Duran song was Rio. Her name is Rio, and she dances on the sand. And I do have to take out, I'm just going to look at some notes I wrote on the song. Okay, her name is Rio, and she dances on the sand just like that river. And some other lines from the song are, I've seen you on TV, 2 of a billion stars. I've seen you on TV, 2 of a billion stars, which I've continually said that there are 2 people mainly involved with this case, okay? And 2, what I would say is 2 people of interest in the crime against Nancy Guthrie. So another line in the song is, and I might find her if I'm looking, and it mentions birthday in the song, and it also says from the mountains in the north down to the Rio Grande. So for the first time, and I think I've mentioned in the past that I'm from the Pacific Northwest, so I have a very hard time visualizing that area. I have not visited the Southwest. The closest I've gotten is I have been to Nevada a couple times, just driven through and spent a very short time in Nevada. So I didn't really know where the Rio Grande was. I thought there's got to be a reason why this song is coming to me. And when I pulled up the lyrics, I was shocked because so many of them seem to relate to this particular case. And as it turns out, it doesn't look like the Rio Grande is in Arizona. But what I think is interesting is that in the song, it says from the mountains in the north down to the Rio Grande. So from the mountains in the north. And also I looked at the map, and there is a Rico Rio. It's called Rico Rio, and it's a town near the border in Arizona, Rico Rio. So I had just been thinking about, where Nancy is located, and some of that came to me. So anyway, I don't know that I have a whole lot more for you tonight. Sometimes these readings can really drag on. Van, captive, mountain, oh, I don't know, cult. Look, There is also the possibility that there was more than one vehicle used in this case. That would be messy, but I'll just leave it at that because I'm not getting a huge hit on that. I do believe there is more to come. I'm not seeing an arrest anytime in the next few days. As I mentioned, this case will kind of come in stages, and I believe we will get breakthroughs, but they'll just be here and there. Law enforcement really is in the process of collecting all the information. I tried to say they're kind of like a panther, like law enforcement's like a panther in the jungle, just, you know, tracking all this stuff down. So, okay, thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and I hope wherever you are that you have a sense of peace and a sense of hope about you and your life. And okay, I guess that's all I have for the night. Bye-bye.